Hi, it's Pastor David Tart again, and we're here talking about thou shalt not commit adultery. This commandment has been the source of a lot of shame and guilt. A lot of people hear this as no, that you are not to have sex. I mean, that's all they hear. And you're not supposed to have sex outside of marriage. And when that sometimes happens, and it does, people become full of shame and guilt. And it's true. There's a lot of pain can happen around sexuality. Sexual abuse, for example, is absolutely awful. And the shame and destruction it does to people is awful. And sex is often used to exploit and abuse other people. And I could sit here and tell you all the things that can go wrong with sex, but I don't think Luther especially was concerned about that. If you notice in his explanation, he makes this a positive thing. He says that in our sexuality, that is how we understand our body and how we relate to others with our body. He wants to make this, and please listen to me very closely. He wants our sexuality to be about honor and respect and love. He doesn't want sexuality to be a place, a source of pain or degradation or feeling bad about who we are or other people or about using other people. No, sexuality is about respect and honor and love. It's normal. It's good to have hormones. You are probably at an age when your hormones are in overdrive. It happens to everyone. It's part of being human. It's part of being who we are. It's how we are here, right? That's how reproduction happens, is through our sexuality. And so I encourage you to have good, honest discussions with your parents about sexuality. There's a lot of wonderful, positive reading that you can do in your school library or here at church or other places that can give you some really good information about what it means to be a sexual human being. And you need to become informed about all the physical things that are going on in your body. And I'm not here to talk to you about that. You can also talk to your doctor, by the way, if you have any questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay. It's good. Do not ever feel ashamed to ask a question. Know what your body is and what your body is doing. That's so important. What I'm here to talk to you about is the honor and the respect and the love God wants you to have around this. Think about it this way. We all have the wild horses of our sexual urges and desires. This is something we all have. And we can let those wild horses run free, and people do. And when it's a wild horse out there, it goes everywhere and it destroys things and it takes you to places you may not want to go. And what God wants us to do, instead of letting those wild urges control us, He wants us to ride our horse urges, to lead them into ways of love, honor, and respect. So as you deal with this in your relationships with the opposite sex, I just want you to ask one question. Is this relationship really about honor and respect and love? Think about it. Will this person that you want to have a relationship with, will that person treat you with honor, respect, and love? Because when sexuality is lived out with those three things, it becomes a beautiful, wonderful experience, especially in committed, loving relationships. We get outside of that, we let that wild horse run free, and we don't direct those wild horses into those kind of loving, respectful, honored relationships. Things happen that are not fun, that are destructive. And remember too, that with this commandment, there's always grace. We fail on it. People mess up all the time. But remember that even when we fail, it's never God's intention for you to run around being ashamed of who you are or how you feel or what you've done. It's always God's intention that you pick up the pieces and you begin again to live a life of dignity and respect and honor and love. And think about this. This is my final point. If you ever find yourself in a relationship when someone is expecting you to do something that you don't want to do, they don't really love you. It's the old adage, old advice, that, hey, if you really love me, you would do this. And the best reply to that is, if you really love me, you wouldn't ask me. It's all about respect, honor, and love. And all you have to do is ask that question. Is this about love, honor, and respect? And you'll know the answer. Well, again, enjoyed talking to you about this commandment. God bless you.